just like any other day. Would have never guessed it, would never thought it. Minding my own business, was in the center lane, just driving to work, going speed limit, taking my time. And this is also the road where the incident began. Kind of gun that I had on that day was just a small pocket pistol, 22, just a Phoenix Arms, cheapo that I bought at the gun show for 85 bucks. I carried it all the time. I pretty much stayed in my car. I was arrested for deadly conduct. I was on my way to work. I was probably at the halfway point. Well, this guy comes out from the side street from a stop sign right across in front of me. Well, I locked the brakes up. Had to squeal the tires or would have probably rear-ended him, hit him in the rear end. So I'm thinking he's going across and is going to U-turn and go in the other direction. Well, he didn't. He was coming up on an intersection where I was going to have to turn to get on the highway to finish going to work. Notice he got behind me. So he gets right up behind me, and I mean, he was so close to me, I couldn't even hardly see him in the windshield. Couldn't see his hood. I could see the top of his head and the roof of his car is all I could see. So, you know, I pulled over, stopped, and think, you know, dude, what do you want? You know, and he pulled up and he slightly tapped me. And I thought, that ain't cool. So I pulled up about another foot or two, put it in park, put the emergency flashers on. So about that time, I look out my passenger window, or out the driver window, and see this big guy just running full speed. This guy's about 280, 300 pounds, coming right toward my car with his hand out. I told me he was going to grab the door handle and try to pull me out of the car. So I thought, this ain't good. So I put it in drive and I took off. He got in his car, followed me. Well, it turns out that as they're pulling me over, I'm looking for a place to pull over, and I look in my rearview mirror and I look at him, and he just makes a U-turn over the median, across the grass, U-turn, heads the other way and takes off. So I kept on going down the road till I find a place where I could turn in. Pulled up, rolled my window down, was getting my license out and my insurance, and the police officer gets out and looks at me and says, "Sir, do you have a gun in your car?" I said, "Well, yes I do, it's up here." He asked, "Where is it?" I said, "Zipped up in a fanny pack on the front floorboard on the passenger side." He said, "Need you to step out of the car, please?" He said, "Have a seat on the curb." So I sat down on the curb. While I'm sitting on the curb, I feel somebody grab my arms and pull my arms behind me. And it's a female police officer. And I says, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm handcuffing you." I said, "For what?" She goes, "You're under arrest." I said, "I'm under arrest for what?" So she goes up, talks to him, comes back, says, "Making terroristic threats." Yeah, he called the police, said I was aiming a gun at him. And I said, when I explained that to the police officer, he says, "Yeah, well, thing is, he called in and said you're pointing a handgun at him." And he said, "The fact that you have a handgun in your car is enough reason for me to arrest you." The USCCA, where they came in, was after my wife and I were on our way home, and because I owe my mom, I got to pay back $500 to my mom. She goes, "We just spent the last $900 on your credit card, you know." She goes, "How are we going to pay for all this? We're going to have to, you're going to have to that's just a retainer fee. You're going to have to pay for attorney fees, court fees, all this other stuff. How are we going to pay for all this?" I said, "Well, I don't know." Thursday, bell went off in my head. Hey, you just bought this USCCA insurance. I wonder if they handle that type of situation. So I called them up. I told her everything's going on, and "Well, how much did you pay for bond?" I said, $500. And she goes, "And how much is your retainer fee?" I said, $900. "So you're $1,400 so far?" I said, "Right." And I said, "To keep the attorney, it's $3,300, which I said he'll subtract that $900 off, leaving a balance of $2,400 I owe him." And she goes, "Well, we take care of that for you." She goes, "Well, send that directly to him. She goes, they'll have that check written out today and you'll have it by Monday in the mail. I said, no way. She goes, yeah, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, we'll get this processed right away, have it sent out Monday. Went out the mailbox, there's a check for $1,400. It was a big relief to me, but was more of a relief to my wife to know that we weren't, you know, I wasn't gonna, well, okay, well, what happens if you don't come up with it? You gonna go back to jail or, you know, I said, no. And, you know, she goes, so once I explained the thing to her, I said, well, you remember the insurance that we got? Didn't think we were gonna need. I said, well, this is where it comes in handy. You know, I didn't think I'd need it either. But I said, you never know. You know, I said, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I've been a USCCA member for a little over a year. I joined in June of 2014. I've been an NRA member for like 24 years. I know they offer insurance and stuff like that. And I looked at their plans. It's, nah, that's not good enough. That's, you know, not what I'm looking for. We would have had to, either I would have had to sell my motorcycle or we would have had to take a loan. She would have had to take a loan out of her 401k plan and pay it back, or we'd had to borrow money somewhere. So without the USCCA insurance, I've pretty much been in hot water. You know, if you don't have insurance, I recommend you get some kind of insurance. Just because it's USCCA, United States Concealed Carry Association, doesn't restrict it to conceal and carry. That insurance also protects you at home, in your house, wherever you're at. Anything that has to do with a firearm, it covers you, period.